was that?
That was my computer. My bad.
Oh.
Start over. Start over.
Start over. Okay.
You heard yourself twice. I was like, what is going on?
Okay, we got off to a shaky start there, but hey, we're going good. That was Little Boat. Beautiful little song, a sequential song. So let's see, Will. Okay, W.C. Ray. Thank you for joining us, W.C. Appreciate it. Yes, you're getting a private concert. It's just you. So ask anything you want. Now's the time to do it. Plunky Deathfish. I have a 535, kept nines on it for a jam band I was in. Studying jazz at a university was wonderful. If 12s or 13s would suit that guitar well for jazz. Yeah, it would, which I guess, I don't like those gauges. I have a custom set of gauge that I'm putting together to sell because I have been playing this gauge for I don't know how long, and I get people asking me all about it all the time, and the problem is they have a hard time getting it. So I just went and bought 45 sets. And I thought we'll get them ready to offer them up next week. But what they are, what you'll be getting is a 13 that will replace the, let me start here with this. This is the set. And in this set, you get a 10, 14, 20, 28, 38, 48. So it's, you know, like an extra light set. Now these are flat wound, except what I do is replace the 10 that comes in this pack with a 13. So you're going to get a 13. And I replaced the 14, and I know it doesn't sound like much, but we're stepping it up to a 15. And on guitar strings, just tiny little bit of, you know, a millimeter or whatever makes a big difference. So then you're going to have 13, 15, 20, 28, 38, 48, hike, go long. And so we're going to offer these up. And we're going to make a little card that goes in there. So actually, you're going to get 8 strings because you'll also get the you'll probably get them, and then there you go. So that's it. So that'll be ready to go in about a week, I hope. So let's see what else we got going on. So. You know, and then also I bought 15 of these tuners because I love this tuner, man. I've had many, many tuners. And the beauty of this tuner, it's rechargeable. And it's not an arm and a leg either. I forget what we're going to sell it for, but it's got a power button that actually works, you know, you can, and it's got a beautiful display on it. So I think we showed it last week. I ordered 15 of those, and we'll put them on the web page. I guess we're going to start selling stuff. And so anyway. Whew. What else is new? Let's see. So on your 535, I would put this set on it, okay? The low-end strings on a 12 and a 13 set, I think, are too fat. I don't like it. I found out a long time ago, you'll wear your hand out between the D and the G string. My opinion, okay, for whatever that's worth. Okay, the low strings you hardly use anyways, and when you do, if they're big and fat, you get this boom, big sound. So the strings are more well-balanced with this gauge here. So it's just my opinion. What is your advice for better pick control? Also, rigid or flexible pick? Rigid, I like these picks. Well, I don't have a name on them, but these are good. These are Dunlap, and you know they're the flex. These aren't the same ones, but these are Clayton's. You know, 1 mil, I like that. I like the 1 mil. This, the writing is erased, so I can't tell you what. It's called
Tortex.
Tortex pick, yeah. Kind of looks like that. Minus the with writing. So that I like those picks. I don't want them any fatter than that, but I don't want them any skinnier than that either. So that's, yes, I would go with that, a stiffer pick, but not too fat. Good evening from the UK on such a dark day. Such beauty is to be welcomed. Thank you. Rich, your fluid, whatever that word is, and economy of motion is generally inspiring. Great tone as always. Thank you, Neil. No, I mean, and then look at, we have Gerhard from Norway, and what were they? My daughter was saying Norwegian people have a bigger vascular system in their core. I don't know if that's true, but it's from living in the cold.
Yeah, I mean, think
showed in the Olympics. Norway cleaned up in the Olympics.
Did they?
Yeah, man, they beat everybody.
What about with the curling? Did they clean up curling?
No, I don't know about curling. I don't know, but a lot of like cross-country skiing.
Yeah.
They killed it. Yeah.
They killed it. So yeah, hey, Norway. That's what I am. Norwegian. 1,000 Swedes ran through the weeds, chased by one Norwegian. Norwegians get a bad rap, like Vikings. You know that commercial where they're going through the mall, pillaging and burning. I had a cry, racial discrimination, ethnic discrimination on that. That's such a bad profile. Norwegians are people too. But just kidding. Okay, so Jim Rolfe is here. Good morning, Jim Rolfe. Jim Rolfe signed up for the camp, and I'm really happy he's coming. Boy, the camp is really shaping up. We've got 12 bass players, 25 guitar players. There's room for just a few more. So it's great. The reverb sounds great. I'm going to shut this heat off. It's getting warm in here. Came out here in the studio. It was 37 degrees this morning. I live on the coast. It's not supposed to be that hot. Okay, so check this guitar out. This is a Guild X170, and I just got it. And this guy who I got it from did some major alterations, and I think he turned it into something really special. Number one, the guitar is in beautiful, beautiful shape. He replaced the Guild pickups with Gibson 57s, and they sound really nice. He replaced the bridge, and I called this company. It's the first time I've seen this bridge. It's GRIFFITH. GRIFFITH bridge. It's like a graphite bridge, and it is one of the best bridges I've seen in a long time. These are expensive, but well worth it. It just really sits in there nice. It's cut correctly. It's beautiful. And then he replaced the Guild tailpiece with the Gibson. Hear that? So some people complain that the Guild tailpiece gives them overtones or something. I have not experienced that. So Little Boat. Isn't that a pretty song? A sequential song. Something like that. Okay, so back to the guitar. This guitar I'm going to offer up. I've got it all cleaned up, all ready to go. It did have a bunch of sharp fret ends, and so I had to clean all those up. But I plugged it in this morning here in the studio, and I came in and I told Gail and Wes, this thing. Well, actually, Wes came in when I was playing. He said, man, that thing sounds great. And he had to know. He's heard every one I've done. So, it does sound great. So if you're interested, you give me a call.
And like you said, the condition of that thing, it's like brand new.
It is like brand new.
Like there's not a nick or a scratch. It's just, it looks like it was straight out of the box.
Yeah.
It is. Whoever had that before you took really good care of that.
What I like about these guitars is they're 16 and a half inches body across the bout. Body depth is about 2 3/4, I think. But it's got a 24 3/4 inch neck length. So I think that's nice. Anyway, it's a beautiful guitar. Do you want Yeah, we'll do a demo on the guitar one of these days. How do you clean your strings to keep your strings sounding bright? Thank you. Well, what I do is, number one, just wipe them off when you're done playing. You know, I'm older now, and, you know, I just turned 52, I think. So, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, 52. So you see, what happens is you get older, you don't sweat. Now, when I was a teenager, you know, and when you're before 30, you sweat, and all this junk comes off and just makes your guitar a mess. I remember going into my guitar lesson with my teacher, and I played the guitar so much, he would take my guitar and tune it up, and he would go like this on the strings with his pick. And just crap would just come off the strings. I mean, it was filthy. He said, clean your guitar. So, you know, anyway. But, yeah. And then I use also, sometimes I'll use McGuire's car wax, a very mild car wax, and I'll clean them with that. It's cleaner, and that works really good. I don't like fingeries and all that kind of stuff.
What about like rubbing alcohol? Isn't that?
Oh yeah, I used to do that. That's right.
That's
yeah.
how that's what I use.
Yeah, you know, if you get those rubber alcohol swabs that, you know, for diabetics they use, you know, to give themselves a shot. You get those, just rip it open. You get them really clean. Thank you, Wes. That's my son, Wes, and if you like what he does, give him a tip. Shave next
Even
time.
if you don't like what I do.
Yeah.
There's a question, though, on here. On the road again. Hey, Rich, how do you get such a good vocal sound with the mic out of the shot? And so we can show you here.
What?
See, we hang this mic off the ceiling.
Yes.
And it's just barely out of the shot. And we just crank it.
Crank it, yeah. That is a Russian microphone. Luckily, I got it before they invaded the Ukraine, you know, so I forget the name of it. It's an MK2. I don't remember the name of it, but it seemed to work really good. I was really impressed, and it was cheap, and it's Russian.
You just made up a new word too. You.
I did.
You were really imprised. Is that a slash between impressed and surprised?
Yes. Imprised. Yeah, I was really imprised. Yeah, that is a new good word. I'm going to use that. I was imprised with that, and Rich's Dictionary. Okay, so where are we at here? Gorgeous playing. Thank you, Stephen W. With what 13-gauge string on your custom set will it work with my 359? Currently with 11s. Yeah, if you want a jazz sound, you're not going to bend on it, okay? You know, a 359 is kind of like a rock, you know, a blues guitar or something. But yeah, of course it'll work on it. Yes, your truss rod will need adjusting. Absolutely. You have to learn how to adjust your truss rod. It's like adjusting your shorts or something, you know. You got to do it quite often, or what do you adjust on a regular basis? Well, your guitar, you know, because things change. Always things change. Pressure changes, environment changes. So you got to just tweak it a little bit. I remember seeing Herb Ellis play, and he didn't have a truss rod on. And as a matter of fact, he had a truss rod wrench sticking out of his guitar. So, you know. Okay. You still wish the Yamaha made the AE, 1200s. Yeah, the 1500. I had a 1500. I love that guitar. They were awesome. The year of this, I don't know. I forget. I don't remember. I'll have to. I don't know. But it's made in the U.S. Made in the USA. Right here in the USA. So, so flat wound strings versus round wound strings, you don't get that. And the concept behind jazz guitar is, for me anyways, is I put on the strings and you get a fat string and you lower it, the guitar action as low as you can until it starts buzzing, and then you raise it up a little bit until your playing style fits that, and it's as low as it can possibly be without buzzing. That's the trick. Any chance of shipping overseas? Well, yeah, maybe, I guess. Would rubbing alcohol affect some fretboard finishes? Well, you don't really get it on the fretboard. You just you surround the string and get it. Some people say it'll dry it out. Well, you put linseed oil on your fretboard sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think it would affect the fretboard much. I've cleaned a fretboard of mine with rubbing alcohol, one that was just really
Really dirty.
grimy. And it does seem like it dries it out a little bit, but it didn't affect the finish at all on the rosewood. I think it was a Telecaster or something that I did it on.
Yeah. Good point, Wes. All right, so
what about this? Is the Guild X170 like a Gibson ES350? No, right?
No, ES350.
What would be the Gibson equivalent to that guitar?
I don't know. They made a 292 one time. I think they still are making it. I don't know. It might be like that. I don't know. I don't know that answer to that. If you got it, 175 is fatter. This is laminate top, like maple top, like a 175. 175 is fatter. It's got more volume, but the pickup's in a different spot. So it's, it's its own deal. Lighter fluid works well too. Jimi Hendrix, that's what he used to do. He used lighter fluid to clean his strings, and then he'd take his cigarette and throw it on his guitar. Boom! Yeah, that's good. Today is one of those finger days. I need to soak them in very warm water. You know what? Soak them in cold first, Andre, and then warm. Jim, thank you. So, I got a new amp. Okay, Quilter is now discontinuing this amp, the 8-inch speaker. So I do have the Mach 3 that I will be showing. And, I was really disappointed. They're discontinuing this. But they're doing the Mach 3, but it's only available in a 12. I love the 8s. And so I'm going to miss this. And so anyway, but I got the Mach 3. We're going to demo that and check it out. And then that just came today. And then I've been talking to some other amp companies because I want to get a good amp. The beauty of these things is it's got a wide dispersion pattern. It's got a heavy-duty 8-inch speaker, wide dispersion. Bigger the speaker, the more direct the sound is. Just the way it is.
I mean, also the beauty of it is it's small and light.
Small and light, yes.
Like a 12-inch speaker probably weighs 10 more pounds.
True. Mark Wilkinson is patiently waiting in Dallas, Texas. What are you waiting for, an airplane? Today is one of those. Finger days today. All right. Thanks for the response, Rich. Okay, I'm surprised you get such a good guitar vocal balance. If you have to crank the vocal mic.
Yeah, you know, on that is we got that Mackie mixer. That thing has just been really good to us for sure.
Yes,
That's made a huge difference. This is the mixing board we're using. So
yeah, nice preamps.
yeah.
Kirby, hey Kirby, West Hills, down in the valley. Down in the valley so low. Hang your head over, hear the wind blow. In this beautiful San Fernando Valley that used to be beautiful in 1950 and 1950, 55. Then it got a little funky. Yes, the Quilter also has 2 separate channels. And Gail and I were talking about this. One of the selling points of this was I could plug my tracks into here. And it's got a tone control. It's got everything. You can direct the reverb to it if you want. Plug your tracks in there and it sounds beautiful. The Mark III does have 2 separate inputs, but again, it's more guitar oriented.
Have you sang through that thing? You done that, or you plug a mic into it and talk into it during your gigs?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've got students that sing through it. Greg Hartline, he sings through this, just like that. You walk into a gig with this, and a microphone and a stand and your guitar. Boom, go to town. It's a beautiful today in San Fernando Valley. That's good. So, oh, you're waiting for your Eagle Classic. Yeah. Keep waiting. Keep waiting. So, you know, I got that 575. And Wes, I was looking at the video, and it down here where it looks really crappy on the video, but I was noticing it looks fine in normal light, but you put that stuff on there. All right, well, never mind. All right, so we did the Freebie Friday, and the Freebie Friday went over like gangbusters, right? Wes?
Yeah.
Hello.
That was great.
And so this Friday, we're going to offer up Little Boat, which I just played. So I forget how many, but probably 100 or so people came and got the free lesson last week. And then they, browse around the library. And so this week we're going to offer Little Boat. So you want to pick that up? Look for that email tomorrow.
Yeah, and if you want to get on that email list, you have to enter your email. There's a link in the description here on this video. So look below. It takes you 30 seconds. Just go to this one page, type in your email. You're on the list. Then whenever. Sometime on Friday, you're going to get the email that has a coupon code. Enter it in. Boom, you're done.
Right. Wes, do not make promises you can't keep.
I know. I'm like, Friday morning.
Yeah, Friday morning at 9 o'clock. Yeah. Everybody's waiting. What? So anyway, the unboxing video. People like that. I tell you, getting that, it was actually that other Eastman. I haven't worked on that yet. Trying to get that damn thing out of the box. Good God, it was packed in there so tight. And that's not a good thing. It's packed in there so tight I couldn't get the damn thing out. What do you mean by an 8-inch speaker has more dispersion? And a 12-inch speaker is more direct. Dispersion. Can you clarify that? Well, here's an example. When you go to a big rock concert, and you take a look at those arrays on top there, they're all filled with these tiny little speakers, aren't they? and then they got a subwoofer down at the bottom. So all those little speakers are dispersing the sound. This is what Pat Quilter told me, okay? So if I'm wrong, blame him. But it's got a wider dispersion pattern, and I know that for a fact. When I got this amp, everybody could hear me in the band. Before it was like, hey, could you turn your amp towards me a little? I can't hear it, blah, 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 all that stuff. So, yeah, so the smaller the speaker, like Bose, remember the Bose PA systems? They have these tiny little speakers. It disperses the sound. Instead of pushing air straight, it goes like that. So, yeah, that's why 8. Now, I'm looking at an amp that's got 2 8s in it, and I'm kind of excited about that. We'll see how that turns out. Speaking of amps, my Black Star Sound 60 replicates the sound of the guitar perfectly, acoustic or electric. Oh, that's cool. Black Star. Cool. Is that what Darth Vader plays? Does he play a Black Star?
I think that'd be Death Star.
Oh, he plays a Death Star. Reverend guitars, Joe Naylor. I met him doing Christian concerts, Christian things, and he displays guitars, which he makes beautiful guitars, wonderful guitars. But he had a line of amplifiers, and one of them was called the Hellhound. And I said, it's not really going over well here in the Christian thing here. It's maybe you ought to change the name. Okay. Rich, they say the Stratocaster is the workhorse of guitars in general for gigging. My question is there a jazz guitar that most jazzers consider the workhorse for jazz gigging? Well, something like this. I think the Heritages are. The L5s are so expensive, you hate to take them out. And then sometimes you don't hear the nuances. It depends of the guitar because the band's too loud. All right, so Wes, I just played a gig in Pismo Beach with a wonderful singer named Julie Kelly, upright bass and guitar. And I was playing 575. And Wes was there, and I said, I'm not digging the sound of this 575 with the band for some reason. It just... Usually I play it all the time, but tonight I'm not. And I just happened to have my Eagle Classic. I went and got it and plugged it in, and I enjoyed it more. And he said it sounded better too.
Yeah, it did sound.
It did.
Just sound a little jazzier, a little warmer.
Yeah.
It's not so sparkly, so it was warmer and better. Just better. I don't know how to.
Yeah, I think if you had a keyboard player playing with you, I think the 575 would have been a better choice. But sometimes, especially the D and the A strings, they get lost if you play a big box like that. Okay. Depends on what jazz means too. A semi-hollow body might be good for more modern R&B jazz band. Yeah, like the jazz festival we showed, right? The New Orleans Jazz Festival last week. I couldn't find a jazz player on it, right? Yeah. Who were some of those people? It was funny.
Foo Fighters.
The Foo Fighters, jazz.
Willie Nelson. Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett jazz. Yeah. Yeah. Wasted away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost acre of salt. Some people say, what's the next line of
maybe
that?
you should just start working those classic rock songs into jazz versions. Everyone
stepped on a pop top.
Everyone loved when you guys played that Beatles song.
Oh, Come Together?
Come Together, and just jazzy Come
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, they did.
It sounded good too. It was cool.
It was fun, man. It was fun.
Where did she get that idea from? Did someone else record something like that before, or was that just her interpretation?
I don't know. Robin Riggs. Hi, Robin. I got your message last night. You called on my phone, and I called you and all that, and I was going to talk to you about amplifiers. And so anyway, I'm terrible about my phone. I just can't seem to connect with it. Anyway, I think that's about it. By the way, we're going to have, Freebie Friday, the string packs of custom strings. Quilter Mach 3 is on its way. It came here today. The tuner, we're going to be selling those. Diminished Studies is on sale. Diminished Studies, and that is a great lesson. You need to work on those, and we're going to work on those. Yeah. Robin Riggs said yacht jazz. Yeah, yacht jazz. Jerry Ray has some things on the playlist of yacht. I can't say it. Let's do a lesson. Everybody, please turn their hymnal to page 49.
Real quick though, W.C. Ray asked, you did raise those pickups up, right, off the guild?
Yes, I did. I went to the store, spent $18 and bought 80 of these tiny washers, both in silver and in gold. Anyway, yes, I did raise those up. So learning to play turnarounds is very, very important, okay? If you don't know how to solo over a turnaround and outline the changes, you're missing the boat. Yacht jazz. You're missing the boat. So I have a thing, it's called an etude turnaround. And basically what it is many different turnarounds played in 4 different keys. The key of G, key of C, the key of F, and the key of B flat. But I want to play you just one of the turnarounds so you can kind of just get a feel for it. So let's go through this lesson. Get your guitar. Everybody, let's start playing this. Okay, here we go. We're going to start in the key of G, and the chords are G major 7, or if you want to play it like this. I never play a major 7 anymore. I cannot physically play that chord anymore. Shit. Whoops, did I say that? Okay, so I always play 6, 9. Okay, and then it goes to E7, some kind of altered E7. And then A minor 7, and some kind of altered D7. So I got... All right, those are the chords. You get those, you hear them in your head. Now, here's what we're going to do. Right out of the G scale. By the way, when you play a G scale over a G major 7, what's the worst note you could play? G. Don't play it. Okay, there's the first 4 notes. Next, we're going to play a G sharp diminished, and we're going to go, which is a diminished chord, or you might want to look at it as just 3rd, 5, 7, but here's the flat 9. And now this is a triplet, so we're going to take our pick and go across. So far we have Now we're going to come up and we're going to encase the E of the A minor chord. So now I have, okay, and now for the next, we're going to come down and play, what are we going to play? Right down the A minor, and as soon as A minor hits, I'm in the key of G again, right? And now we're going to go, so a B flat against a D7, it's like a sharp 5. And then end on a A. So I have, okay. All right, you want to do the next one? You want to do the next 4? You want to? Do you? Do you? Do you now? Okay, I do, because it doesn't quite end very good. Do you want to, Wes?
Yeah.
Wes wants to. So the next 2 measures are this. Right, just down a G scale. And then down over the E7, I'm playing, this is segments of an A harmonic minor. So now I have, whoops, sorry. And then the same 4 notes for the A minor, but now different for the D7. And we'll end it here. All right, so that's twice through the turnaround. So here we go. First time. You got it? Okay, twice through the turnaround. Isn't that cool sound? So it's actually a big, long etude. If you take a look at this music, it's 2 pages. Remember, we transpose in the 4 different keys, so everything's written in tab and notation. But go to the library. This is a great study. And by the way, I want to talk real quick about, okay, wait a minute. Let me start my thought over. Hold on, Rob says, hold on, I dropped my pick. All right, when you get any of my stuff like this, okay, it's written in tab and notation. Now, once you start learning it, okay, and you learn it 2 measures at a time, let's say. Once you learn it, I want you to take a felt pen. Actually, make a copy of this, or you can download it twice off the thing, and X out the tablature. Okay, just color it in so you can't read it. It's so important that you start reading notes and not tablature. Okay, tablature tells you where the note is played, but that's all it says. Okay, unless you know what the note is, then learn to read music. Okay. And then it just keeps on going.
Do it one more time.
Okay. Yeah, Daddy-O. That's that swinging bebop sound. So get those etudes, man. I think it's really a good lesson. I worked hard on those back in the day when I was young. So playing 1625. Oh, sorry. Do you want to show them where it is?
Oh, I did.
That's right.
Okay. Rob, get your pick. So, one thing, we got a chord every 2 beats. You know the song Breezin? You ever heard that song? It's 1625 in the key of C. We're going to, actually, I think George does it in D, but I put it in the key of C. I'm going to play the song, and it's, once the blowing starts, sometimes you can use altered chords over the A minor, turn it into an A dominant. Even over the D minor, turning it into a D dominant, and over the G, a G dominant. Sometimes you can do that. But anyway, let's have a little fun with the tune. Breezin, take it away, boys. Here we go. Could you hear that? If you just play around the key of, it's all in the key of C, right? By the way, we're going to use this song again next week because we're going to talk about blues scales next week. Remind me about that, Wes.
Okay.
Okay, good boy. Good boy, Wes. Good boy. Okay, so Mark, I recently bought and learned your Stella by Starlight collection. It is amazing. Thank you. I'm glad it helped you. That's very, very cool. It looks like the robots are going to town here. Base o'clock. Okay, Wes, you got any news for us?
Yeah, I do in a second. Can we jump to reverb?
Okay, let's go to Reverb. Let's go to reverb.com and check out some things that are going down in the city. Okay, so, during Gibson, it's sometimes, I said to Gail today, the only person that's been ripped off more than Chuck Berry is probably Gibson. Gibson comes up with some of these ideas, and sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they take off, sometimes they don't. The robot guitar is one of them that is very interesting. It's got tuners that tune themselves. You press a button and show the back of that headstock. There they are, those big old tuners, and they tune your guitar robotically. I've seen it in action, and it works really, really cool. But look, it makes the headstock look like it's going to weigh a ton, and I don't think this idea really took off. It's too bad for them, but it's kind of a weird thing, the robot guitar. When you see it happen, it was cool. You dial in on one of your knobs, you dial in what kind of tuning you want, and you press a button and boom, it does a D tuning or a gad-dad, boom, or a regular tuning, or then you can tune individual strings. It's really, and you don't have to touch this, and it's always there, and it's always working. I think it had a rechargeable battery, so you had to always plug your guitar in. But if you didn't want to buy a guitar with that on it, you could buy the tuner separately. Do you have those, Wes? It's the next link.
Yeah. This?
I had a link. It's a robot tuner.
Oh, here, that?
Yeah, that. Okay, so there it is. So it's a tuner that fits on your guitar. I think it shows it on your guitar. Oh, there it is. Watch that video a little. It's kind of a trip. American Musical. Okay, we get it. There it is. See that? Isn't that a trip? So it's not too bad. It's not as gaudy as the other ones. But you can press and start tuning things, and it automatically tunes your guitar.
Oh,
Look at that.
That's a trip. What the heck?
Isn't that cool?
That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. What? It's weird when they move. It's like
there's a ghost.
Right. It's like one of those player piano things.
Yeah, exactly. Look at it. See, it tunes it. It gets it perfect. It's great. But again, the idea just didn't seem to take off. It just, I guess maybe, guitars are weird because they really don't like to have innovation. If people are going back and forth between the old school and the new school and what have you. They don't like innovation. They want the old sound. They want this and that. But they sure look that new tuner idea is kind of a neat idea. So some things take off and some things don't. It's weird, but that's kind of a kind of a cool thing. I think if I was on the stage like George Benson, you know, I think that would be really cool. So you could just you don't have to turn on your tuner on the headstock, or well, you probably would have a pedal tuner, but you could just go and it would and you go like this and then strum everything, and it hears each one of the notes and tunes it. How about fine tuning? I don't know. Surely it's about our ears. Can it change the strings when it breaks too? No, but Diodario does make tuners that when you string it through, you lock it in and it cuts the string off.
That's weird.
Yeah. So another innovation that, I don't know, will catch on.
Yeah, I mean, is it that hard to just clip them? That's weird. Calvin Wong, we do have a lesson on Breezin.
No, we don't.
We don't?
No.
Oh, I thought I had
Well, you know what? It's got a list on triple stops, which are these kind of things. Those George Benson things, and then these things. And George was big on those. And then these things. And then adding a fifth or a fourth. George said in an article I was reading, he knew he couldn't do what Wes Montgomery did. So he added an extra note and got this bluesy sound, because the octave thing was great, but he just made a decision that I don't think I'll ever be as good as Wes to do that, but I'm going to do this. And I think it really made a difference for him. So, what a nice guy. All right, Wes.
Yeah, so there is a little bit of some fun guitar news. So you have a large guitar collection, obviously. You know,
Yes.
You're always getting stuff. How many do you think you have? Like even the ones on the wall, what, 30, 40, maybe?
Yeah, 30 or 40.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that is nothing compared to Slash.
Oh.
He just did an article with Guitar World, and he says he owns about 400 guitars.
Oh, well, that's nothing.
400. That's a lot. That's a lot of guitars. How you couldn't play them all in 1 year. I mean, unless you're playing a couple per day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But out of all of his guitars, he still just is in love with that gold top Les Paul that he's had from. It's a '59 replica Gibson Les Paul. He says that he's recorded pretty much every recording session he's done since 1987. He's used this gold top guitar.
And that's a 59?
But it's a replica version.
I see.
But yeah, he loves it, and he is very much a creature of habit, because he also says that they asked him what his favorite portable musical device was, and he said one of those Sony cassette players that has the speaker attached to the thing.
Right.
You know, it's all one unit cassette player speaker. He says when the iPod came out, you know what, mid-90s or whatever,
Uh-huh.
he says he got one and he was using it while he was on tour for a while, but he says he just grew to hate it. He says, quote, "The quality of the sound drove me crazy because it was so effing digital."
Yeah.
And so yeah. And anyways, this is kind of what it looks like right here. The old Sony thing.
Oh.
But this is actually, you can actually buy this right now from Urban Outfitters. It's like a retro thing that apparently some people think is cool, so they sell it for $50, which is pretty weird, right?
Actually, that was a pretty good deal too. $50
Yeah.
for that. Yeah.
So
Wow.
in case you wanted to add that to your thing, there you go. Urban Outfitters, $50.
To your bag.
Yeah.
Add it to your bag. But then you got to get cassettes. Where do you get the cassettes?
Yeah, well, I think record stores now are pretty much like,
Making cassettes?
well, not making. Well, yeah, actually, definitely. There's people. There's definitely bands, like especially punk bands and kind of underground bands, making new cassettes for sure. And they're if you go into a record store now, they have huge cassette sections. You know, like
No kidding.
little wings of the stores are all cassettes now. Which, I mean, give it 10 years and they're going to be all CDs. You're going to have a big old CD.
Oh, vintage CDs.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Well, like you go into Guitar Center now, they got all these LPs.
yeah.
They want a fortune for them too. You know,
Yeah.
$30, $40 for a record. Crazy.
All right. So, all right. Moving on with that, and some money news. According to Data Bridge here, the guitar market is expected to witness market growth at a rate of 3.05% in the forecast period of 2022 to 2029. So guitars are going to keep getting more expensive, people. And they say the biggest factors, which I thought was interesting, leading to the jump in prices are the rise in concerts and live performances after COVID. So they're saying, you know, no one was going to concerts for all this time, and somehow that's going to translate to higher guitar prices, which I fail to find the common denominator there. But they also say that interest in music among the younger population is actually growing a lot, and so they expect younger people to start buying more guitars and things like that. A couple other factors were there's big demand for guitars that are eco-friendly and using raw materials that are eco-friendly, and also rosewood. There's tons of regulations and things that are being added to harvesting rosewood, and they feel like that's really gonna start bumping prices up. So that being said, have you ever wanted to build your own guitar? You ever wanted to? Like, and I'm not talking about Stu Mac buying a bunch of pieces and screwing them all together. I'm talking about building a super high-end handmade guitar.
No.
Now, well, maybe some people do. And obviously people do, because this guitar maker in Ontario, Canada has just started a 5-week guitar building course. And they're called Blackwood Guitar Company. You walk in on the first day. You got piles of wood in front of you. You select your own wood, what you want for the sides, the back, the top, and then the teacher starts teaching. Now this teacher, Ted Brown, says that the class is filled mostly with older guys, because obviously they have more time, and which I'm thinking retired people, more time, more funds to do it. But the cool thing is, so this class he charges $4,950 for this 5-week course. But in the end, the guitar that you make, he says, is going to end up being worth about $3,500.
Wow.
So it's actually not that bad of a deal when you think about it. I mean, if you're able to resell that guitar somehow, I mean, I don't know who's going to want to buy your hand-built guitar, but it will have that value on it. So it's actually kind of a interesting
Right, right.
financial comparison.
That's
there.
not a bad price to go to a school to learn how to
Exactly,
play the guitar.
for the
Yeah.
tuition itself, and then obviously you're going to get some of that money back by taking the guitar that you made home. Most of the guys that take the class, though, they're like, oh man, I never want to sell this thing. I mean, this is like totally sentimental. Like I spent
Right, yeah,
all this
yeah,
time
you're not
building
gonna
it,
do
and but I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it's definitely something you don't hear about every day in the guitar world, for sure. And then finally,
Like-
so you like you use Dunlop picks, and
Yeah.
they're really popular for jazz people. Your students like them as well. They actually just came out with this new pick here, which is kind of deceptive. It's definitely made for jazz players, but it's called the Rock 3 Custom Nylon Jazz 3 pick. And apparently they've added a little more beveling.
Do you have a picture?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there it is, right there.
Oh,
So it definitely kind of has that shape of those little Dunlop picks, but they say that it has a new beveled edge, which offers smooth, effortless attacks and notes that sound full, distinct, and consistent, even at a high gain. So apparently this, and then they're also, I think, changed the formula of the exact nylon that they used in it, and they say that this one's going to add more roundness and warmth, which will tame your harsh highs. Don't tame my high, man. Don't try to tame my high.
ah, shit. Oh, crap.
No,
Did I
man.
say
Now our video
God
is
damn.
unsafe for children. But anyway, I thought those were interesting.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, so
very
that's some guitar news for you.
All right, good job, Wes. Let's hear it for Wes. Okay, Jim Roth, I recorded Yes at the Whiskey in 1972 on a Radio Shack version of the recorder. All right.
Nice.
I always took my recorder like that, sometimes to gigs, so I could hear myself. And, yeah, usually hated it, so I wish I'd never. $600 to see the Eagles. We are in the end of times. That's right.
Yeah, I guess that also makes sense on that story because, gosh, to go see anyone. now
Anyone.
is I mean, it's at least $80 to go to a concert. I mean, that's a cheap concert.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I would say like the average ticket now for a middle-sized band is like $160.
Yeah.
It's astronomical for one night, 3-4 hours,
Right.
if
yeah.
that, and 2 hours sometimes.
The Eagles, I've seen them twice, I think, once or twice. But you might as well just buy the LP. Buy the CD. Eagles' Greatest Hits, that's what it is. They sound exactly like the record. And I think that's why Glenn, who's the guy that quit? Not Glenn Fye, Glenn, the guitar player. The one that, because he didn't like playing everything exactly like the record. I mean, God dang, come on, man. I think that's why the Grateful Dead did so well. They did the opposite. They just got up and jammed and stuff. And that's what music is all about, I think. It's interaction between musicians. You're not a jukebox. Anyway. Jared, I think I posted a couple on YouTube. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so
He's talking about, he posted a couple videos of Yes and playing on 72 when he recorded that on his recorder.
Oh, I see.
Which
I see.
I bet you, I'd be curious to hear the sound quality of those. Probably pretty
What,
good.
a break?
We don't have anything to go to.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's do diminished studies a second. I'm going to, before we end, I'm going to play a tune. And this is Caravan. Play Caravan with a drum solo. Here we go. So that's Caravan, you know, and what's cool about that tune is that you know, it's this big jam on a diminished chord, a diminished scale. So diminished scale, really, you need to work on those. And remember, we have the diminished studies on sale. But I want to show you something really. All right, let me start off. Diminished scales, you really got to know, okay? You use them all over the place. But there's some diminished tricks that are really cool to use that are really easy to do. Let me show you one. And I have a whole lesson of diminished tricks. All right, one of them is this. Let's say I have a G diminished or B flat, whatever you want to look at it. Remember, every 4 frets, right? The chord stays the same, the title. In other words, A diminished is, or B flat diminished is the same as D flat diminished, same as E, same as G. Same notes. Now, if I have a figure that is 1, 3, 4 on the D string, it can be mimicked on the B string. Okay, because the scale looks like this. Look at if starting on G. But we're going to leave off these bottom 2 notes, bottom 2 strings. We're just going to go. So it's 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4. So look at, but I'm playing the same pattern on the D string as I play on the B string. So when I'm soloing, I could make up little things. Okay. Now on the next string, I could do the same. You see that? Now, I can also change, move that up to that note, and so now I'm going to play the same 1, 3, 4 pattern on these 2 strings. Isn't that cool? Can do all sorts of cool little things. Let me play that tune again a little bit here, and then you can see what I'm talking about. Goes to F minor. So it's this chord. Now this is rhythm changes, kind of rhythm bridge. So, in other words, every 4 frets I could go. Pretty cool, huh? All right. So anyway.
That's an interesting song right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's cool for sure.
It's a cool. When I was young, my best friend, Rich, bought me that album for my birthday And I think of that. I think it was called Moving West or something. And it had West on. I didn't play it so hot with the track. You just a lot of diminished chords, huh? And then it's like Sweet Georgia Brown. Anyway, there's the tune. Okay, we ain't got any last minute questions before we bid farewell for another day of fun here at the Guitar College Clubhouse.
Robin says, man, Steely Dan tickets are a bargain. Only $2,624.
And yet,
wow.
You're lucky to get a gig now. It pays $100. Give me a freaking break. You know, I had a friend visit me this weekend, and he played a lot as a single in the late 70s and 80s, and he was making $500 a night and working 5 nights a week. Do the math on that. You think that could happen nowadays? I don't think so.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he made a lot of money back in the day. So, it's ridiculous. Okay, well, I tell you what, thank you, everybody, for joining us. I really appreciate it. We had a good time. I hope you did.
Oh, just real quick, if you liked all those diminished licks, again, the Diminished Studies collection is on sale now. 6 videos. It's 33% off right now. So
good.
Down from $40 to $25. I mean, that's enough material to drive you crazy, for sure.
Yeah. Yes. And you got to get it down. So get that. Okay, be there or be. Boy, I do have a lot of verb. I will see you next week with a brand new show.